Good evening and happy almost midnight. Good evening. And I have between my Lego collection and my build queue, and there's also a bunch more on the wish list, but between what's actually in my collection, including the build queue, I have a not insignificant number of Lego dragons. And I thought we could add to that collection tonight by returning to Harry Potter's Magical World now that Hogwarts is done. And there's actually a chance I might actually be able to show off the Hogwarts project at a Lego fan event next month. But I'm still working out logistics, so it may not happen. So we're not going to talk about that yet. But the as you'll recall, shortly before I started the Hogwarts project, I introduced the Wizarding World into my collection with the Triwizard Tournament arrival set. That was the big ship and the carriage. And I thought, and that was the Durmstrang ship and the Beauxbatons carriage represent the fourth book in the series. And given that the Hogwarts project is based around the first three books, I thought maybe we could return to book four, The Goblet of Fire, with another iconic scene. So over here on the camera, you can see the Hungarian Horntail. This is the dragon that Harry Potter had to face during the Triwizard Tournament. It was a battle. Yeah, that was a fun scene. But yeah, there were four dragons, and Harry got the meanest one. And here it is. We're going to put it together and add it to my Lego Dragons collection tonight. So, here is the front of the box. And you can see on the front of the box, actually you can't really tell from this picture, but you can tell from the picture on the back here. So when we go to the back of the box, you'll notice there's a little crank on the base. I have no idea what the action feature is, but it's going to be cool. We got a dragon here. And from the looks of these measurements, it looks like it's going to be a big dragon. So let's go ahead and get the box open, and we'll get this dragon added into my collection. The Hungarian Horntail is probably one of the two most iconic dragons in the Harry Potter series. Of course, there's also Norbert. Actually, Norbert might be more iconic, which is Hagrid's baby dragon. And there's also that big dragon at Gringotts. I forget what that one was called. But, so yeah, dragons are important in Harry Potter's world. So, we got it open. Let's get everything out here. Okay, so we have a packet here. It looks like, okay. So it looks like this packet is going to contain wing pieces. Obviously, we won't need that till later in the build. I'll set that aside. Let's get organized here. Interesting. So we have 5 bags. Here's bag 1. And let's just make sure. I think there's, yeah, I think I see it, yeah. Yeah. We have a little tiny sticker sheet here with only 3 stickers on it. And of course we have our instruction book. Let's go ahead and get up the instructions we're actually going to use. And we are ready to go. So so it looks like bag 1 is going to be the base. Bag 2 is going to be the body. Bag 3 is the legs and tail. Bag 4 is the head. And then bag 5 is going to be the wing assembly, it looks like. So yeah. I wonder what the actual action feature integrated into the base is, because I actually did not know that going into this set. There was not a brick separator page, which is interesting because this set is at the piece count threshold where they usually give you a separator. But this set also came out this set is also a slightly older set. It's been retired for a few years already. So maybe the piece count thresholds for giving you a brick separator have changed since then, because I'm not seeing one in this bag. Okay, so there's no brick separator, which is okay because I always keep a spare handy. And we are going to start this build with the only minifigure in the set, who's going to be Harry Potter in his Triwizard Tournament uniform. Smiley face and serious face. Well, given that he's actively fighting the dragon right now, we'll go with the serious face. Let's find his hair, and then I'll show you him before I give him any accessories. Where's the hairpiece? It was under the base plate. Okay, we're good. So this is a Triwizard uniform Harry. He's probably got one of the more distinctive Harry Potter looks amongst the now 14 different Harry Potter minifigures in my collection. He gets a wand. It looks like he gets a special broom assembly. And he went off the table immediately. We didn't even get to the build before I started eating parts off the table tonight. That's become something of a meme on this channel, I guess. So it looks like we have a 4-part assembly here with chains. So Harry's broomstick has some chains attached to it. That's what it looks like we're doing here. Alright, let's get the broomstick into his hand, and then we can actually get to start building the dragon. Actually, we're building the dragon's little display base first. So here's Harry with his wand and his chained broom. And now let's begin building. All right. All right. Okay. Sorry, when I stop talking like this, that just means I'm focused on the build. It is a bit of a late start tonight, but I like to do midnight streams. Once in a great while, I'll do a midnight stream. I just felt like doing a Lego session tonight. And I figured since I had a Harry Potter set anyway, and I'm full on Harry Potter mode right now, since we just completed Hogwarts. Of course, I'll still have my regular weekend big Lego stream over the weekend. Alright, and we're already getting our first sticker here. And this is a title sticker, which just says Hungarian Horntail, which is the dragon species that Harry Potter is fighting here. So yeah, over the weekend I plan to add another ship to my Star Wars fleet. A pretty big, iconic one, to be exact. But I don't want to ruin the surprise yet, so you'll see this weekend. Okay, there's the sticker. It just says Hungarian Horntail, and it'll go onto the front of this display base here. And now we're going to keep building. We're going to start to build the display base vertically now. goes here then. The goal is for tonight's build to go relatively fast. Probably about 2.5 hours. That was not supposed to happen, but the section has not been secured yet, so it's not a big deal. These are the tiles that should secure this section, though. So it won't be happening again, at least not with this section. Well, I actually felt that one. All right. Okay, that's on. Okay, looks like we're putting a couple of joint pieces on. The ball joint pieces that they use for action features. Okay. All right. Okay. We're continuing on with the setup for the base here. And then we'll see how the model evolves from there. Okay. The base is coming together quickly, and pretty soon we'll be able to start the dragon itself. Oh, that's cool. So that's how you get that angle. Okay, so the the vertical part of the base is now secured, and structurally the whole thing's going to be at a slight angle. That's pretty cool how they put that together. Okay. Oh, there's a cool piece I don't think I've seen before. A slope with rock texture molded into it. I think this piece is new to me. Okay, so now I have a little Technic assembly. And here's a gear. So whatever action feature we're setting up, this is the gear that controls it. Oh, I put the gear on the wrong end, it looks like. It's a good thing I caught that before we tried to put everything together, because it looks like this section gets embedded. That would have been a near impossible fix later on. Oh, I can't put this piece on just yet. I have to put it through the hole first, or else that piece will not. Okay, now that should be correct now. Okay, that one goes there, and this one goes into here, and then yeah, this axle gets secured there. And then there's another gear that shows going into here. If I can just get the axle to line up through the holes, we'll have this one set up correctly. Okay, can I see through here? I can kind of see what we're doing there. I'm almost lined up the gear with the axle, but then it also needs to line up with this. Yeah, now I should just be able. Yeah, we got the push through. Okay, the gear is secured. And the gears are turning freely. So that means we just got all that Technic set up correctly. And with the cranks on, I can demonstrate. I think it's black on black, but you can see the two gears spinning as I turn this. And in turn, that turns the upper axle tube there. I have no idea what that actually does. Once the dragon is assembled, we'll have to wait and see, of course. Alright, let's keep going with the build. Of course, we have here the famous golden egg from the tournament. And this is actually a shiny gold that they used for this piece. Pretty cool piece there. And now we're adding a flight stick. Okay, so the flight stick has been added to the base there. And it's time for bag 2, which it looks like it's going to be the main dragon body here. Okay, let's keep going. Alright, we're on to bag 2, but before I continue, I'm just checking one thing real quick. Yeah. Let's keep building. So we have started the dragon proper now. Alright. Alright. Okay, it looks like we're putting in some more gear work now. So this must have something to do with the action that we're setting up in the base. These go here. Oof. That's uneven. Looks like there's still some more gears in the parts pile, so we're still setting up. We haven't finished setting up the action yet. All right, that goes on there. Okay, all the gears are working. When I turn this gear down here, that spins these gears inside. I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up. Now we're putting on a bigger gear piece, and it looks like this is what's going to connect to the gears on the base, maybe. I'm not sure. Let's keep going. Okay, I think that's aligned properly. So okay, I think that's how it's all meant to line up. All right. I hope I have all the technique aligned correctly, because there's no going back now. We're about to secure everything inside as we build the dragon around it. We build the dragon around the action core here. And I think we will take a stretch break after this bag, because it is time for my evening medication. In fact, I'm about an hour late for it, so we will take a very quick stretch break after we finish this bag. We'll be doing our first break at right around the 1 hour-ish mark, which means we've been moving pretty efficiently through this build. So far, at least. Impressive for a midnight build. This isn't my normal Lego time of day. Okay, that one there. And then so yeah, looks like the main body portion of the dragon is finally starting to take shape here. I see what it's doing. Okay, so it looks like we're securing up those bits on the bottom with these bits on the top here. But now, where's the piece I need? There it is. Okay, so those bits are now secure. Let's keep going. This goes here. Yeah, the gears are pretty much at this point all covered up. But we can still turn these bits and all the gears will turn. So I guess the action feature ties into these bits back here that are still exposed. These bits on the end here. When you turn those, it moves all the gears inside, so that probably has something to do with the action. All right, these go here. This one goes here, not there. So we're creating scales and spines right now for the dragon's back. Which means we'll be done with bag 2 shortly. Because the surface details like this are generally the last section of a bag. When they're on top, of course. one more spike section, and I think it goes to bag 3, which means it'll be break time for us. Since there's no more minifigures to spoil, I think I can just leave the page up. Okay, how are we connecting here? So we're viewing from the bottom here. So it's this rod that comes off the bottom here. So we want those pointing that way. And then we insert the rod into here. Like that. And we just turn the crank till those bits are back in the position they're supposed to be in, which I think is here. So no, we're misaligned with where the crank is supposed to be. And I just dropped a piece. Oof, it's the big gear. How do I fix this? Okay, so that gear is still correctly positioned. Okay, so now we're gonna try that again. Which we have them sticking straight out, right? Yeah. The side bits stick straight out like that. We'll take it from this position. And really the crank can be in any position for the presets, so I don't know why I just made a big deal over what's really nothing. I think it's nothing. I'd say we're in good enough position here. So bag 3 is going to start with the dragon's tail, but before we get to that, we're going to take a very quick stretching break. So I have medicated, I have stretched, and I have refreshed. Now it's time to move on to bag 3 and the dragon's tail. Quick little audio test here. Quick little audio. We are good. All right, let's get right into it. Did I put that? Yeah, that says I'm facing the right way. Okay then. So I'm really not sure which way we're oriented quite yet. It'll be obvious once we attach the tail though. We just passed the 1 hour mark of stream, so we may actually going through this build a little bit faster than we should be. Well, there is no such thing as you shouldn't go too fast. What I meant to say is we're probably going through this build a little bit faster than I estimated on, but we'll see what happens. We're already well into bag 3 here. All right, so you know. All right. Alright, let's build each of these sections and then we'll attach them. It'll be a little more efficient to have them all ready to go. One more section and then we'll attach these sections and we'll get them onto the tail. Alright, those sections are attached and now they're on the main tail unit and we can keep going. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. We're adding some spikes to the tail tip now. That one almost went off the table, but it didn't. All right, let's keep adding these little details here. And now the tail is going onto the dragon. Now this dragon's going to be a lot longer than I thought it would be. Let's just curve things around a bit so that it takes up a little less length over the table. Yeah, that's a nice look. Now we're going to fill in some, looks like some surface details around the body area. Okay. Okay, so this dragon has some very precise shaping going on. I like it. So this one. Go here. And then this one will go here. With this one going here. Is that going to be the leg? Interesting how the legs are split between bags. Normally the legs are together in one bag, or if it's a four-legged creature, then there'll be two in one bag and two in the other bag. It's rare to see a two-legged animal where the legs are in different bags. Maybe they did it to balance the head and the tail because there's comparatively few pieces in those. Maybe. This one goes here. Okay, how are we lining up here? Okay, so the first leg is on. And now we got to do the dragon's first foot. And then I guess we'll repeat all this in the next bag for the other side. Okay. Looks like I have to create 3 little claw sections. I'll make them all and then I'll attach them all. One more claw and then we can attach them. Alright, let's finish the dragon's foot. Yes, it looks like bag 4 is going to start with all that assembly on the other side before we go into the dragon's head. So let me turn that so I can see what I'm doing. You can see all the detailing we put on this first side of the dragon there. You can see its leg down there under the tail. And now we're going to do the detailing and leg for the other side. Okay, there's a really cool piece in this parts pile that I will show off when we get to the dragon's head. Alright, let's get right into it. Okay. So now we're filling in all that shaping that we did on the first side. We're doing all those steps again on this side. Filling in the texture and the scaling for the dragon. Let me just see something. Okay, that one there. All right. All right, let's keep going. There it is. that's on, and it's time for the leg. All right. Okay. So that goes there. There it is. All right. Yeah, sorry about the silence. I'm in the zone right now, so to speak. Being in the zone is a good thing because it is getting late. Wrong piece. We want to make sure we're using the correct pieces. This is the piece I want. And now we have to do the other foot. So with just two legs and the two wings, this is actually what's known as a wyvern style dragon. Well, I've heard it pronounced both wyvern and wyvern, so I guess with some of the fantasy creatures, there's different pronunciations. They're a pretty cool dragon shape. Alright, time to add the claws. Same deal as before. We'll build all 3 claw assemblies and then put them together. It'll be a little more efficient to have everything ready to attach. Alright, let's build one. I built that. I put that claw facing the wrong way. It's supposed to go this way. Now I have to put together one more claw. And now we can attach the claws to the feet. Or I should say to the foot. We're only doing 1 foot right now. And with the attachment of the 2nd foot, that means the legs are now done. And we can move on to the dragon's head. What's going on here? know what? I feel another short break coming on after this bag. Normally I don't need a break so quickly after having one, but it is later than I usually build Lego. So I'm not operating at quite 100% right now. But that's alright. We'll take a stretch break and then we'll come back. And, well, we're going to finish this bag first. We're going to finish the dragon's head. And then we're going to take a stretch break. And when we come back, it'll be time to add the wings to the dragon. But you know what? We're moving through this build a little faster than I thought we would, so I think I might have a bonus build in me today. A very small bonus build, which I will reveal later. Just slipped out of my fingers. But that hasn't really been a thing tonight. I mean, we knocked Harry onto the floor as soon as we put him together right at the beginning of stream. But we haven't really done as much yeeting onto the floor as normally happens on one of my streams. So we did pretty good tonight on that account, I think. let's keep going. Normally I get a spam bot in the first hour of stream. We're coming up on 2 hours and haven't had one yet. I wonder if the bots are taking the night off. Alright. This is a very horny head. Alright, let's keep going. This is the page of the instructions on which we attach one of the coolest, most unique pieces in the set. Okay, I dropped that one. It's right there. Here it is, the Dragon Fire piece. Dual molded, mostly in trans orange, but with a bit of trans purple at the bottom. And actually, did I just see? Oh wow, the camera's not going to pick this up, but the trans purple bit at the bottom of the flame is actually the sparkly opalescent. And actually, as you move the flame around in the light, it appears to change color a little bit from the orange to the purple. The purple section appears to grow and shrink along the orange. That's, depending on which angle you're looking at the piece from, the purple section grows and shrinks along the orange. That's, I cannot adequately get that on camera, but hopefully, now that I have something to actually hold it a little better, I can try and show it off a little bit better. See, less purple, and then there's more purple, and then less purple and more, depending on which way you're holding it. I know that's not coming through on camera that well, and also the purple section is the sparkly stuff, but again, that's not really coming through on camera. Let's go ahead and finish putting the head together. Okay, so now the head attaches to the body. And before we go into bag 5, I'm going to take a very quick stretch break. All right, let's continue. Starting with a very quick sound check. All right. I think we're still working. All right. I think we're. All right, let's keep going then, and proceed with the last bag of the build. All right, let's keep going then. All right. Instructions back on. Let's open bag 5. And I know it says to pull out the wing pieces, but we're going to wait till the instructions say to do so. That way they stay fresh until we need them. Hey chatters, anything you want to talk about? There's a lot of tech bits and rolly bits going on here. And I think something just went onto the floor. Yeah, I see it. I think I see it. I think that's everything that went on the floor. Okay. EF2 Real, welcome to the chat. How are you? We're building the Hungarian Horntail dragon from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. We're about to, it looks like, do the wing section. Although it looks like we have to put his eyes on first. Alright, gotta find the parts in the parts pile. It would help if I was actually looking for the correct color. Okay. We got 2 tiny stickers I gotta do for the dragon's eyes. And then I think it's time for the wing assemblies after that. This is a retired set. I think this was from... I'm not sure the exact year. But yeah, this one is retired. Okay, that was the number 1 side sticker. So that goes over here. And now I need to find the other dark brown wedge and put on the other sticker for the eye on this side. I'm actually relatively new to Lego Harry Potter. I did the modular Hogwarts. You can see the playlist for that. And I also did the Triwizard Arrival set, which is the Durmstrang ship and the Beauxbatons carriage. And there's a video up of that. And of course, I always show off the empty sticker sheet. That was it, just the Hungarian Horntail nameplate and the 2 eye pieces for the stickers on this one. And now that the dragon has eyes, Okay, we have a big Technic assembly. I don't talk a lot during Technic assemblies because if you mess up a Technic assembly, it's could have serious problems later on in the build. So, but I'll talk if you want me to talk. Otherwise, I'll focus a bit while we're doing the Technic part. Yeah, my weak spots in Lego are Technic and trees. And also keeping the parts on the table so they don't keep rolling off on me. That's another one of my Lego weaknesses. Well, thank you for stopping by. We hope to see you in the stream again later. I do a lot of Lego on the channel. I'm technically a variety show, but I haven't done like my music or game streams in a long time, so we'll see if they ever come back. But mostly I've been doing Lego this year. And all my all my past streams can be found on my YouTube playlist of the same name, Uncle Evie. That's my channel name on YouTube. And you can find all my past streams there. Over 400 episodes over the last several years. Alright, this goes here. Where? Okay, I was putting that bit in. And then I need this bit. Alright, there we go. Okay. Wow, this picture is really unclear. Yeah, so if that bit is like that. Yeah, the math isn't mathing. The geometry isn't working. I do not see which way this is meant to line up here. Oh, okay. I think I finally see. It goes in this hole. So if that goes in that hole, all right. Sorry, I got a little off camera there. I was staring at the instructions, trying to make sense of this Technic connection. But I think I got it. I hope I got it. A lot of pieces are going rolly right now. Okay. All right. Looks like I have to keep... We're building up the support structure for the first wing, it looks like. That's what all this Technic is. All right, we got that connection in. So yeah, turning this does move the Technic. So yeah, so as it turns out, the action feature is to make the dragon wings move. You can't really see because I have the camera facing towards the other side right now, because with Technic, I need to be able to see what I'm doing. So you don't have a very great view right now, but yeah, it looks like the action feature is for the wings. Let's keep building up this wing support now. Okay, that's not the correct piece. I need to find the opposite piece. Oh shoot, do I not have all the connections in place? Looks like I'm missing a connection somewhere. Oh, just a piece. So, yeah, I missed a piece. Okay, so that's how that piece goes on. Alright, so looks like that one's supposed to connect like that. And now we're doing some more of the wing frame, it looks like. This goes in here. We got some more of these big claw pieces going along the wing frame here. So that's cool how what the set did. It set up the action feature in bag 1, continued developing in bag 2, and then you have to go all the way to bag 5 to get the payoff. Because Technic action features like that need to be embedded in the system, that's actually a pretty common occurrence where you'll set up the action feature early, but then it doesn't actually come into play until the last section of the build. Alright, this section goes onto here like this. Okay. Let's keep going. Lots of claws along this wing support structure. That just flipped out of my fingers. I had a grip and then I didn't have a grip. That's cool. So we're going to have flapping wing motion. Okay. And here it shows to add the wing, but we're actually going to wait and put both wings on at the same time after we complete the frame for the other side. So it looks like when it is time to attach the wings, we put in the 2 pins in the back first, and then the 4 pins, but pointing down. And then there's this piece to secure it. And that'll go on that little axle there. So I see where the 4 pins are, so we're ready when we do it. But now I'm going to go on the other side and do the whole Technic frame here, and then we'll attach the wings last. And now that I've done the frame before, I should better be able to identify how it all goes. And I won't have that hesitation, or as much hesitation, during attachment moments. All right. These go into here. This goes like this. All right, that's together. course, we're not going to forget that connector this time. Let's put the wing up so I can have a better position to work with. Not sure why it wasn't going into the hole. I had it. Maybe I just had it at an awkward angle. There we go. The main thing is to make sure the wings are at the same position. Yeah, it looks like we're lined up with the picture, so let's keep going. Let's just make sure we're unobstructed before we continue. Yeah, I'll continue going with the framework then. Okay, I do not have that bit aligned correctly. Let's move that over one stud. And let me check my placement of that on the other side. Yeah, I think they're even. Okay, let's keep going. Gravity does do an assist on the downswing. Wow. Did I have another piece roll off? Well, no, there it is. It was behind stuff. All right. Let's keep going. And once we finish this wing frame, it'll be time to attach the wing pieces, and then the dragon will be done. And then I'm going to go straight into my bonus build. I have a small Harry Potter poly bag that we're going to do at the end of stream. Okay, now it's asking for another one of those pieces. So maybe I did have something roll off the table. Yeah, there it is. This goes on here. Now it looks like we're working on the last little bit of the frame here. Okay, we need these bits. The rest of these are spares. Let's bring the big wing pieces in and get this dragon finally finished here. And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to turn off the instructions so you can get a full view of the table for the rest of this. I'm just doing a little bit of waste management here before we continue. All right, let's get these wings on now. So there's 6 attachment points for each wing, and then the plate we push in to secure it at the end. And the wings, thanks to gravity, are gonna move around on me while I try to connect them. So this might take a few minutes. Almost. I think I've almost found the pin there. Nope. Let's try connecting on this side first. Does that help? Yeah, we got that pin. So now I can just make these other 4 connections, and this wing will be good to go. Let's raise it up again so I can see what I'm doing. And we'll just do manual override here so that I can get to what I'm trying to work on. 3 of the connection points are on for this first wing. All right, there we go. And then there's this other hole here that we secure in with this plate. And the first wing is attached. Now we come over here to the other wing. And hopefully this wing cooperates a little bit better. Hopefully. Of course, I say that, and already, oh, first pin went in. then we just put the plate on. So yeah, that, since we knew what to expect, that wing went on a lot more efficiently. And a tile fell off somewhere. Okay, so now with the wings attached, we turn the crank, the dragon flaps its wings. That's a cool feature, and not one I would have predicted from when we were assembling the base. But that's really cool. I could do this all day. Attack position. That's really cool. And then the instructions show how you attach Harry's broom to the front of the flight stick there, and have Harry go flying, trying to fly away from the dragon. Like this. And now we have Harry trying to fly away from the dragon. Well, it shows his I could probably adjust him a little bit to make the flight look a little bit better, but I'm not going to play with it too much. Oh. But yeah, you get the idea. Harry Potter is now trying to fly away from the dragon fire. Here's an advertisement for the old version of Hogwarts. Yeah, the current version is so much better. Alright. We're just at the 3-hour mark of stream now, but before we call it quits, I have one more little Harry Potter bonus build to do here. I have the Quidditch practice polybag featuring a micro build of the Quidditch field. You can see little pylons representing each of the 4 houses, some Quidditch hoops. That's a Cho Chang flying over the field and a snitch there. Let's go ahead and get this open. And I do not have the PDF instructions for this, but it's hard to show polybag instructions anyway. So let's go ahead and get this open, and we will I actually got the polybag with the intention of trying to work it in to the Hogwarts project. We'll see if I'm able to do that. Even if I can't, I definitely have something in mind for Cho Chang's flight stick there. I'm going to go ahead and open my paper instructions, because this will be a quick little polybag build here. And you can see what the polybag instructions look like. Very quick, only a handful of steps to put this together. So let me just breeze through this Quidditch field, and then since it's 2:30 in the morning, we'll call it a night after this because this was a midnight stream. Oh, I forgot to start with the figure. Hold on. Let me finish this page of the build and then I'll go back and do, I'll put show together. So yeah, we're basically continuing the theme of the Harry Potter world in flight. You got a dragon battle, and you got the Quidditch field. There it is. And this is a Ravenclaw. Chose from Ravenclaw. So, good representation from my house at the Quidditch field. Serious face, or we're going happy face. Because I have plans to adapt her flight post and give her the highest flight spot in the castle. Because, you know, Ravenclaw, my house. Looks like we have a couple of raid options. Okay. I'm having a little trouble getting the broom into her hand here. Taking longer to get the broom into her hand than it took to build the first half of this Quidditch field. That's not quite right. But there's Cho Chang, our Quidditch player from Ravenclaw. Very nice figure there. And she is going to be added to the Hogwarts project. And possibly the field itself, if I can get the forced perspective to work. So here's what the field looks at the halfway point. we have 4 towers in each of the house colors. Oh, I forgot a piece. Wow, those are not in alignment at all. Now that's one way to separate pieces. Probably not the preferred way. To get them to send them scattering like that. So actually, if you've been following along with the Hogwarts project, you'll know that with the official sets, the total minifigure count was 92. But that includes the addition of my addition of Madame Pomfrey. So it's 91 across the sets that were actually represented. I've added a few students from my own collection who were missing from the castle. And adding this Cho will bring my total minifigure count of the Hogwarts project up to exactly 100 minifigures, plus an assortment of, I think it's 50 or 51 animals and magical creatures. So the house pylons are in. Now we're gonna, it looks like we're creating a flight stick. Okay, so it looks like I'm supposed to put this onto the pin. Okay, so there's a spinner with 2 flight sticks on it. So it looks like we put the snitch on one flight stick and we put Cho on the other flight stick. And actually this might be usable for the project with a little bit of forced perspective depending on where I place it. So we need to do some creative posing because this is a simpler flight stick than the other ones that Alright, yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright. Yeah, this might actually, I might actually be able to use this field depending on where I place it. It's out of scale with the rest of the project, so the only way it works is with very careful placement. But I think I can make it work. Let's clear all the spare bits. We'll clear out our separator because we're done for tonight. And here's our little Quidditch practice field with a little spinner so that Cho can chase the snitch there. I think I know what I can use this for, though. Yeah. This worked out great. So we have our little Quidditch field and our big dragon. And it looks like the dragon is flying so much higher than the Quidditch field because of the scale difference. And the forced perspective here makes it look like the dragon is flying way above the field. That's actually pretty cool. You know what else is cool? They both have action features going on. I could spin this all day. And one last quick up-close look. Well, she's giant compared with the field. There's definitely forced perspective going on there, just within the field itself. And then, of course, we have here the dragon chase. We just passed the 3-hour mark of stream. If you count the talk time at the beginning and breaks, our build time was just under 3 hours. Let's see who we are going to raid out to today. Issa's still on. I know, she's a safe raid. He blocks raids. He's not doing music tonight. Haven't done John Lee in a while, and he's actually on. Let me see if he's live or if he's in his video reruns. His video loop. Alright, I think we're going to raid John tonight because it is the middle of the night, and it does look like he's doing music. So we're going to raid John Lee Music tonight. We raid, he's one of our regular late night guys, so he's a safe raid. It looks like he's actually live with music right now, so we should have a good raid out, and I will see you soon. Yeah, this was fun, adding a dragon and a small Quidditch field to my Wizarding World. The dragon is not going to be part of the Hogwarts project, just like the but I probably will display it with a Durmstrang, the Durmstrang ship and the Beauxbatons carriage, because it represents the same book as those two. So yeah, there's our dragon. Let's see if we can pose the wings upward. Gravity. There's a spot where gravity takes over, but yeah, that's nice pose. We're gonna go with that. I really like the fire piece as well. Yeah, this was a nice pair of builds for tonight. My Wizarding World expands. Alright. Have a good night, and I will see you soon. We're going to raid John Lee Music. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning here. That's what happens when I do a midnight stream. So good night, and I'll see you this weekend. And we'll be doing another Star Wars ship this weekend because I've got to keep growing that Star Wars fleet. Lego Star Wars is one of my main sub collections now, and Harry Potter might be my big project, but my big sub collection is Star Wars, and I've got a growing collection of Lego dragons, like I mentioned before. That's one of the reasons I did this one tonight. I wanted to build on both my Harry Potter collection and my dragon collection, but I have a few more dragons in the queue. I have something special planned for August. I have a special 4-day stream planned that involves a dragon and a castle. So we're going to have a 4-part stream for that. The biggest dragon in my Lego dragon collection. But for this weekend, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to add a Star Wars ship to the fleet. And we will raid out to John Lee music because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Have a good night. Have a good night.
Welcome in. Yeah, it's been a very, very trying season, to say the least. But I'm okay. God's got this. God's got me. He's got Karis. I actually wrote a song for Karis on our anniversary, our 14-year wedding anniversary in April. It was after she already had filed for divorce. And thank you, Neil. Thank you.